Hello. Apparently the Crow is hot shit again, thanks to the remake that's upcoming. And yeah, cats are also hot shit again. Well, actually, Randy wouldn't shut up, so I had to pick him up. I'm trying to make a video here. Anyway, cause there is the Crow remake coming up, they actually released 30th anniversary limited edition steelbook of The Crow, the original from 1994. So I had to get it, and I figured I'd do a little unboxing and give my thoughts about the movie and maybe some thoughts about the upcoming The Crow remake. Reason why I'm not including this in my usual movie pickups videos is cause, well, it's new shit and I want to capitalize on this, so I figured I'd give The Crow its own episode because it is pretty fucking fantastic movie. The Crow 4K Blu-ray 30th anniversary limited edition steelbook. Let's check out what's inside this and are you sleeping? I gotta put you down so I can open this. Don't eat it. It's new. Eat my old shit. As someone who's a huge fan of The Crow, I had to get this immediately when I saw that this was coming out. I do actually have some kind of special edition of The Crow DVD, it's like double disc and all that, I don't know. But since The Crow is freaking magnificent movie, you can never have too many copies of The Crow, so that's why I decided to get this one too. Also gave me a great excuse to watch this again, because it's been a long while since I actually watched this. It's been multiple years. The Crow, for everyone who don't know, is actually Brandon Lee's last movie because he died during the filming of this, which sucks because he didn't really get to do too many movies and he was a freaking awesome actor in my opinion. Well, at least in this one. Before this he kind of made the usual 80s action movies. This was actually one of those movies that almost made it to my top 10 all-time favorite movies list. I mean, I just fucking love this movie. It's so great. Let's get on with the unboxing of this 30th anniversary limited edition steelbook. This is a nice cover it has. I watched this already, so like yesterday, and this is tight. This has this cardboard casing here. The steelbook's inside here. You can see it there. You can get it from the bottom. You can't get it up there because there's the cardboard shit also. It's tight. It's tight. I actually kind of fucked this up already. I was trying to get it out and there's this plastic that this was glued to. I can glue it back on. I'm probably gonna glue it back on, just put a little dab of glue there and glue it back on. I'm doing a lot of gluing. If I keep repeating that like some kind of fucking imbecile, people are gonna think I sniffed the glue. Nah, they probably already think I sniffed the glue. But yeah, you can get the steelbook. Oh, wait, I can't actually take it out like that. I have to show you. See, there's a Brandon Lee's eyes, and when you take the steelbook out, god damn it, this is tight. I do love this. There's his forehead, and there's his hairline, not receding. At least he never had to face receding hairline, if there's something positive, but still, it sucks. He had to pass, so yeah. But yeah, that comes off, and there's the cover of the steelbook. Behind here also you can see, well, you can't probably read it if you're from an English-speaking country, because there's Sweden, Denmark, Norway, and Finnish text behind here. Special features are in English though, so let's just go over the special features. There's new shadows and pain, designing the Crow, which was fantastic. I watched that. It was just really interesting to get to see how they built the sets and how they came to those artistic, just the iconic looks of everything, the scenery and all, interior designs, the places. Before watching that, I never really paid that much attention, but after I watched that, I was like, the sets and all, when you think about how they did it and how small budget they had, it was pretty fucking fantastic job. It looked great, and you could really see their influences from like old German, what's that art style? The old German, when you have kind of weird tilted things and triangles and circles and German expressionism. It's this. Yeah, that's what it was. Love it. It's a great style. But yeah, special features. Sideshow collectibles, an interview with Edward R. Pressman. Oh, he was the producer, so audio commentary with director Alex Proyas. Audio commentary by producer Jeff Most and screenwriter John Shirley. Behind the scenes featured profile on James O. Barr, who was the dude who made the comic book which this is based on. Extended scenes, deleted footage montage, and trailer. So pretty decent special features here. But yeah, this is a cardboard, and like I said, this is I fucking ripped that, so I gotta glue that or something. This was actually first marked as May 6th to be released. At least at the place where I ordered this. And god damn it, they actually delivered this yesterday, which was April 24th. I'm really bad with dates. That's why I usually end up masturbating. Okay, moving on. Steelbook. Here it is. Here's the front cover of the Steelbook. There's Brandon Lee, face all painted up. Fantastic picture. I love that. I miss the guy. So sad, so sad. Here's the side of the Steelbook. It says The Crow, which is good. Some steelbooks don't say the name. Well, actually, I don't know if there's a lot of movie steelbooks. Well, anyway, I'm gonna keep the cardboard on this, so it's not like I won't have it say here, because the cardboard actually says The Crow too, on both sides. So behind here we have a picture of the Crow. It's the flaming one from the movie, or it might just be the Crow and someone just did some kind of weird artsy version. I don't know. I could be reading it wrong, but inside here we have the discs. There we go. First one is the 4K disc, and that's the one I watched, and that one had the special features. I actually don't know, there's the Blu-ray version of The Crow. Yeah, I think the same special features are on both discs. Not sure, but cause I think all the special features were in the 4K disc. From what I quickly browsed it through, it's just the Blu-ray version, you know, for those people who don't have the 4K player, so they can see all the same shit. Anyway, let's take the Blu-ray disc out, cause I wanna show you the picture behind here. It is pretty fucking cool. Yeah, I'm loving that. That is a fantastic picture. It's the Crow, and there's the eyes of Brandon Lee. Here's the Crow, here's Brandon Lee, there's the eyes. Here they're both kind of in the same picture. And yeah, there are eyes there. That's an eye, that's an eye. And there you have it. That's pretty much the Crow, the Steelbook, everything that came inside this. Not much. 2 discs, Steelbook, and the cardboard covering, so it's not like this was big unboxing, so that's why I figured I'd include some kind of review of the movie too here. Now The Crow is widely considered a masterpiece, or at least really fucking good movie. But every now and then there are people online who say that people don't like it because Brandon Lee got killed during it, and it's cheesy and it sucks and all that, and everyone's got their opinions, and not everyone's gonna like everything. But me personally, I do believe that movie is fucking masterpiece. At least in my books, you know. If it's not in your books, well, I don't want to read your book. No, if you disagree, you know, write it down in the comments why. I'm always interested in opposing opinions too. I promise I won't get my feelings hurt. The Crow is a movie about love and death and tragedy and revenge too, so it's got all. It starts with Brandon Lee's character Eric Draven and his girlfriend getting, tragically killed by these hoodlums, scum, these 4 little lowlifes who break and enter into their apartment and beat them up and end up shooting Brandon Lee and throwing him out the window from a 6th story, so obviously he dies. And then when it comes to his girlfriend, well, they have their way with her, if you know what I mean. She survives that, but is sent to a hospital and later on there dies, so they both die. Now fast forward a year from that, Brandon Lee digs his way out of his grave and starts taking his revenge. And there's also a big black bird who's kind of just watching while Brandon Lee is doing all the digging. Not much help there. But it's quickly established that they have some kind of connection, Brandon Lee and the Crow. Brandon Lee can kind of see through the Crow's eyes, which helps finding out all those perps who did the shit to them, you know, cause the Crow can fly and that way cover more ground, so he can see wider area of shit with the help of the Crow. That's why we use drones and shit these days. If you wanna really get a survey of the lands, drones help. Brandon Lee had a drone before we had drones, so in a way he was really ahead of his time. Oh, and Brandon Lee also, when he touches people, he can see all the suffering and all that. Not just people. First thing he does, he goes to his old apartment and there's a cat who was back then also alive, still alive. The apartment looks kind of shitty, so it probably ate some rats and shit. It probably had a huge buffet there. Brandon Lee touches the cat and then he starts seeing all the stuff that happened back then during that night, and then he sees these paints and paints up his face and starts whacking people. Story is pretty straightforward and simple, but it is told in a magnificent way, which I just love. It's dark and you can really see when Brandon Lee is seeing all the tragedy in his head when he's touching the cat or touching other people. When he gets those visions, he acts so great, you know, that's kind of tormented soul that's out for vengeance. That's kind of why it's a real shame that he passed away, because this was really like the first movie where you could see Brandon Lee actually act really great. I mean, I'm not saying he was bad in Showdown in Little Tokyo and Rapid Fire, but those were just 80s. Actually, Showdown in Little Tokyo was early 90s, but those, typical action movies. Fun, but not like masterpieces or good examples of great acting. This one, I think he does really fantastic job, and also, well, pretty much every character in this movie does fantastic job in their parts. Sure, it's not like Shawshank Redemption or anything like that. I mean, it is still action movie in its heart, but it's an action movie that's got more heart than a lot of other action movies, if you get my meaning. It's a movie that has a purpose and style. You can really see that the director and all the producers and makers of this movie really had passion for the comic books. I've never read the comic book. I'm kind of interested in seeing that, because some people say that the Brandon Lee movie didn't really follow the comic book that great, but yeah, I'm still interested, because it does sound like the kind of really dark goth shit that I would fucking love. I mean, really sounds like it's up my alley. I'm just not a huge comic book reader, but The Crow, the movie, it really does have fantastic characters. I think especially the bad guys too, they just all did kind of really good job in this movie. There were the 4 lowlifes that entered the apartment and did all the killing, which are the guys Brandon Lee first goes after. They do have their own boss, which becomes the kind of final boss of the movie, but the 4 perps, they were all just shitty people, but they all kind of had their own distinctive persona, which I really loved, and it just seemed like they had tons of fun when they were making this movie. Tintin was the first one, and he was badass, with the knives and all. I really liked his character.
Halloween ain't till mañana.
All the bad guys, the way they talk, they all had personas, which is really hard to do when you have so many characters, because, well, there were 4, and then there was the main guy, and the main guy actually had a girlfriend, which was also some kind of clairvoyant seer, whatever type of shit, And then there was also a third guy who was kind of this main guy's right-hand man, who was played by Tony Todd.
One boy said he saw a blackbird too. I'll have the janitor come on up.
He's always fantastic in every movie he makes. I mean, Candyman movies, those were freaking awesome, man. But yeah, the 4 guys, there's Tintin, who I talked about, the knife-wielding cool guy. Next guy is Fun Boy, who is, well, he's really into drugs, and he's shagging this waiter, who actually has a daughter who's also part of the story here, because Eric Draven and Shelley, who was his girlfriend, were taking care of the daughter. The little kid's mom is shagging Fun Boy, and yeah, Fun Boy he was also really wacky and fantastic, like they all are, but in a different way. He was more like this drugged up psycho.
What the fuck?
Oh, and Tintin was actually played by Lawrence Mason. I'm not actually sure I know him from anything else. I gotta check him out, because I really liked him in that role. Fun Boy was played by Michael Massee? Is that French name? It's just Massee. Massee? I don't know, but he was freaking fantastic in his role too. Third guy in the group was T-Bird, and well, he had a car which was freaking awesome. I loved it. It was one of those old American cars which had that engine that comes through the hood. Well, I don't fucking know what you call those. I'm not a car person, so yeah, I kind of suck when it comes to cars, but he had one of those. But yeah, he was called T-Bird, and he was played by David Patrick Kelly, who you might best know from The Warriors.
We needed to put some fear into that little lady. She wasn't going along with our tenant relocation program.
He's the main antagonist in that movie, the one with the bottles in his fingers, Warriors, come out to play. He's awesome actor. Weirdly in this one, he was kind of maybe the most toned down of the 4 bad guys that were in that little group. But still, he did a great job in this. He was kind of the leader of that little pack. And fourth and last one out of those 4 guys was Skank. He might have been actually my favorite. He was played by Angel David. I mean, he wasn't that much in this movie, but just before he gets what's coming to him, he was just this really kind of pussy, He was peeing himself pretty much. When the Crow was having him, he was still trying to lie at that point, because he just killed a bunch of guys. I mean, Brandon Lee's character did. And yeah, he was holding him, and just the way he delivered the line, Oh, that's Skank.
What up, Skank? That's Skank right there. Skank dead.
Just that one line made me love him most out of those 4 guys. But yeah, after that, there was Tony Todd, and then there was the Myca, M-Y-C-A. That was the character's name, and she was played by Bai Ling. She did a good job too, She really fitted with the main villain.
There are energies aligning against you.
She kind of gave this movie more mystical kind of vibe. Dead guy who comes back to life and has a connection with Crow, so it was pretty mystical by then already, but she kind of brings more that stuff in this movie, which I just really appreciated. Now the main bad guy in this movie was played by Michael Wincott, who is just fantastic.
I want all of you boys to be able to look me straight in the eye one more time and say, "Are we having fun or what?"
Also in everything. Robin Hood, he was the sheriff, the Kevin Costner Robin Hood. Probably my biggest problem with this movie was Michael Wincott's character, the name. He was named Top Dollar. Not that that's not a good gang member name or anything like that. He wasn't really like a regular gang member. He looked more like one of those, I don't know, Three Musketeers with his shirt and all that. He used swords and they did like some magic stuff. With the woman he was with, they pulled out eyes and threw them in fire and all that kind of stuff. So Top Dollar is really fucking weird name. It really didn't fit the character in my opinion. It kind of stupid name, but doesn't ruin the movie though. There's also a cop who's played by Ernie Hudson.
You died. You got buried.
You still have your hat on.
Who's always also great in everything, so he just fits the cop character in this too, you know. He brings this kind of little bit of lightness to Brandon Lee's character. Ernie Hudson, he's always great too. He's kind of like Tony Todd. They both have this kind of voice and presence they bring into any role they do that, you know, I'm not sure why I'm shaking boobs here. They both just have tons of charisma and presence. But yeah, overall, it's a dark movie about revenge and every character I just loved. I love the overall plot. It's a fantastic idea of someone dying so violently while in love that they just kind of come back, and they use the crow as this kind of mystical creature or mystical animal that has the power to do that. And crows are, you know, they have this ominous dark presence that no other bird really has. I mean, don't get me wrong, ostrich is still much more scarier. I mean, those things could fucking kick me to death, but if this was horror movie, I'd rather go box with ostrich than fuck with a crow, because I know crows are just bad omen. But the overall art style and art set design, it is just so good. It gives this really like almost fantasy world type of feeling to every scene where they're at. Everything seems like it's a set, but in a good way. It feels like the whole thing was built for that certain moment always. It works great. Just the art style, like I said, the German, whatever it was, it just really brings some great feel to this movie that makes it unique, elevates every aspect of the movie, and all those characters intertwined with the set. It just works. This is a movie where all the puzzle pieces just fit together and work. And talking about puzzle pieces, last puzzle piece I haven't mentioned yet is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is fucking kick-ass. One of my favorite soundtracks ever. I have almost every song from this movie on my Spotify list too. It's not the best soundtrack though. That's still that goes to Top Gun. You know, you can't beat Kenny Loggins. I mean, come on. It's really close. But yeah, the soundtrack just works perfectly in this one. But yeah, The Crow, Brandon Lee's last movie. It's sad. I love this movie. It's fantastic. It's one of my all-time favorites. It is a masterpiece in my books, at least. I love it, and I could give it some kind of score here, you know, out of 10. I think I'd go with like, I don't know, 9.5. It is just so goddamn good. I do recommend it for everyone, especially if you're into like goth shit. I'm just gonna say a few words about the remake, because I watched the trailer. Well, first of all, they remade the Eric Draven story. I mean, there have been different Crows. They could have easily done someone else. Well, obviously they wanted to do Eric Draven because The Crow has been such a hugely loved movie throughout ages. I mean, 30 years now, so obviously they want to cash in on that. But at the same point, they're kind of putting themselves up against, I don't want to say certain failure, but a steep hill to climb. Let's say that. It does seem kind of pointless remake in my eyes. I wish they'd make a remake like a Crow 2 rather, you know, that story, because that one also has intriguing story, and the guy who played the Crow, I don't remember the character names or anything, but yeah, him and his son dies. That was a kind of different take on the whole thing, and that movie had much more potential for remake in my opinion, and it was actually an interesting story, and I actually liked that movie. Most people seem to hate it or not like it at all, but yeah, me, I like that, and yeah, it would be nice to see that made better again. Now, if the trailer gave us any hints about the musical style in that movie, well, it's gonna suck hard compared to the original, the Brandon Lee Crow, so that's gonna be a huge blunder. The Eric Draven in the new one, he looks stupid. I mean, I don't really mind the tattoos, I don't care, but the hairstyle, just why? The Crow, the Eric Draven version, is just so known for having being in a metal band or rock band and having the long hair and all that, and now they kind of just gave him the shaved sides and weird crackhead mullet. I mean, if you're gonna accuse someone of sniffing glue, then it's the new Eric Draven. Now just the sets, they all look way crappier in the new one, in the trailer. I mean, it was like regular clean bathroom where Eric Draven gets shot in that trailer, and yeah, you could see the CGI blood splatter. I always hated that. It's blood splatter. Why can't you make it practical? It's not that fucking hard. You take fake blood and you squirt it, and it looks always million times better than any CGI blood splatter. Those fucking suck every time. I've always been kind of against CGI, but I get it. Some things are really hard to create without it, but this is Crow. It's not like you have Godzilla back there destroying buildings or anything, so you don't have to put CGI everywhere, so why not do practical stuff? Even the sets and the setting and all, it looked really dull compared to the original. Only thing in the trailer that little bit raises my confidence is that it has a good actor. I mean, all the people in that certain family line from Sweden, I think they're Swedish. I don't think that family has bad actors. This one has Bill Skidmark is in this. Scott Missile, I don't know, but you know, those Swedish guys. There was Stellan, Bill, and some others. Bill was in It remake, and the first part of that was actually really good. I really loved that. Second part kind of dropped the ball a little bit, but I still enjoyed it. But yeah, I won't be watching that again. Well, I won't be watching the first one again either, because it would be pointless to watch the first one and not the second one. If I want to see it, I'm just gonna watch the original with Tim Curry. But just judging by the trailer, my hopes aren't high when it comes to the new Crow remake. I'm curious how it turns out, but we'll have to see. I'm just gonna end this video. I've been rambling on for fucking hours probably now. Well, I mean, I'm gonna cut this down, so it's probably like, I don't know, 15-20 minutes there. I hope. Fuck off, and I'm gonna fuck off, and let's fuck back here when I upload more videos. I think my next one's gonna be maybe movie pickups, because I was gonna have movie pickups right now, but I got this movie early, so I figured out I'm gonna do this first. So yeah, movie pickups, I'm gonna have more movies, which it was a pretty okay pickup. I'm just gonna move on, and you move on too, and make Crow 2. That was great. I mean, it's underrated. I mean, underappreciated. I'm not saying underrated. It wasn't like masterpiece. I liked it. I don't know what else to tell you.